Hello, everyone. My name is Sven. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk to all of you. I am part of a cabal of people, let's say, who have brought a new field into existence over the last couple of years, which we call molecular brain mapping. And I would like to tell you about my idea how to use this new technology to arrive at a new science of computation. And you might be wondering, why do we even need a new science of computation? We live in the age of AI. We seem to be going from strength to strength there. Every week there's a new breakthrough. And we all grew up with this idea that every 2 years or so, our computational capacity would just double. And that is all true. But I would like to tell you that there are a couple of causes to actually be worried and to be looking for a new science of computation. So first of all, Moore's law, this knowledge that every couple of years our capacity would double, has not actually held true since the early 2000s. And most recently, we have more or less come to a complete standstill in improving our computational capacities. And knowing how computationally intensive AI is, that is obviously a huge problem for scaling AI as a technology. And algorithms are not a solution to this problem. We have learned the Sutton's bitter lesson a couple decades ago already, which states that no matter how smart our algorithms are, we are never going to beat hardware. Hardware basically always trumps better algorithms. So what do? Well, the good thing is that there is actually existence proof in nature for a better way to compute. And that existence proof, of course, is our brains. Brains are still, by a long margin, the most impressive and most powerful computational engines in the known universe. And there's many reasons for this. First of all, brains compute on just 20 watt-hours of energy, extremely energy-efficient systems, potentially more than 1 million-fold more efficient than our current computers. Brains are extremely good at heuristic learning. If you look at how many millions of pictures it takes to train an AI to tell a cookie apart from a dog, it's actually quite incredible to compare to the human brain, where a child just needs to see a couple of instances and it learns the difference between the two. And finally, our brains are adaptive learners. For AI, you have a training phase and you have a performance phase. And once you come out of the training, it's actually very difficult to train new information into the AI. And if you perform recursive learning, the model often just collapses, whereas human brains just keep growing and keep integrating new information throughout our entire life. So in many ways, the brain is much better than anything that we've achieved computationally with artificial computers. So what are we missing then? Why is our technology not already as good as the brain if there is this existence proof? So we have looked at many layers of the brain and its performance. We have looked at the functional layer. We have been doing this since the 1850s and determined which brain region performs which function. So we know that. We have been looking at circuit diagrams. We've been using electron microscopy to map the circuits of the brain. We've been doing this since the 1980s. And we have also been looking at activity and how our brain responds to certain tasks and adjusts its computation. What we are missing, though, at least until now, is the molecular layer. All of these different layers are telling us what the brain is doing, but none of them are actually telling us how the brain is doing it. How do these connections look like? Why do they perform as efficiently as they do? And this is the layer that we can access now with our new technology. So what if we solve this? How will the world look like if we manage to break through? First of all, we will escalate our computational capabilities, potentially even more so than Moore's law allowed us. We will be able to build AIs that actually have world models, that are able to be embodied, move around in the world, and reason. And finally, we can finally be able to address brain disorders, which are also, the key for which is also hidden in the molecular connectome. And this is extremely important because currently this is costing us 3 times more per year than cardiovascular diseases and cancer put together. So if you want to know more about how we design a program around this, I'll see you in my longer talk later on. Thank you very much.